We're here with John Boardman, IHR Australia's Director of Workplace Relations. Welcome, John.
Thanks, Mark.
John, we are here today to talk about the issue of disability and discrimination in the workplace. In recent months, my CEO, Bernie Brooks, brought the issue back under the spotlight. And John, I'm interested to know from you what responsibilities an organisation has in regards to modifying the workplace to suit the needs of a disabled worker.
Okay, Mike. The requirement is that you make reasonable adjustment, and that's something that I suppose is balancing the needs of both the individual employee or potential employee and the organisation. On one hand, the employee wants to be able to work and have a meaningful relationship at the workplace, to be able to earn a living and be able to get some fulfilment out of doing their job. On the other hand, the employer has a business to run, so there are the commercial realities that flow from that. But when you look at these sorts of things, I suppose really it's about not just saying something can't be done or that it's too expensive. It's about genuinely going in and looking at what are the options. And sometimes there are less expensive options which will allow you to make a reasonable adjustment. Now, that'll vary from organisation to organisation, and there is indeed a lot of case law around what constitutes reasonable adjustment.
And so I guess reasonable for the corner store versus reasonable for a multinational could be two different things.
It could be, but even with the corner store, if the adjustment can be done without huge cost, and remembering that technology changes all of the time, so individuals will, for instance, adjust a car so that they can drive it even though they might only have, say for instance, one hand or one foot, or they might have a hearing impairment or something like that. So, and a lot of those solutions are not as expensive as they may have been many years ago.
So John, it sounds like the key lesson is be reasonable, and for business, document what it is you do. I suppose there's always that risk or reality that at some point in the future, 1 year, 2 years, 3 years down the track, you may be called upon to justify the decision you made in regards.
Absolutely, Mike. We would always recommend to people that they document the decisions that they make in relation to these things. The burden of proof rests with an employer to be able to demonstrate that they haven't unreasonably disadvantaged or acted in a manner that's adverse towards a person who has a disability, and being able to say that you've explored options, that you've consulted with the person in relation to the matter, that you've gone through a process where you've weighed up the benefits and the cost, not only to the organisation but to the employee or prospective employee, is always going to have an employer in a far better place to be able to justify the decision.
John, fantastic advice as always. Thanks for joining us here at the IHR offices this morning.
No worries, mate.
Thanks, John.